The last kiss before the shootout. A bullet with your name on it. A love that bloomed in blood, a passion that burned brighter than the sun, a soul that even death couldn't chill. I'm here to tell you about a love like that today. A love that braved the hardest test, one that played out against the grim backdrop of an imminent shootout. You know what they say, love makes the world go round. But here in the concrete jungle where we operate, love ain't got no such power. Here every man's for himself. Trust is a luxury we can't afford. Love is a weakness we can do without. At least that's what we tell ourselves. I'm gonna tell you about two lovers who defied the odds, who chose love over the cold comfort of self-preservation. Two lovers who sealed their devotion with a kiss that transcended life and whispered promises to eternity. It's a tale as old as time, yet as fresh and raw as yesterday's headlines. It's a story that unfolded right here in our city. A story that still leaves me shook to my core. Maria was a breath of fresh air in a world gone stale, a splash of color in a monochrome existence. Her beauty wasn't just skin deep. It was a radiant glow that illuminated the darkest corners of our hearts and set our souls aflame. She was a reminder of the humanity we'd buried under layers of deceit and betrayal. Maria was different. And in her difference, she offered us a glimpse of heaven. Then came Marco, a man with a past as dark as our own, a reputation that preceded him like a shadow. He was a force to be reckoned with, a man who knew the language of the streets. A man who could navigate the treacherous alleys of our city like the back of his hand. Marco was danger personified, a walking, talking embodiment of the violence that stained our streets. Yet somehow, amidst the grit and grime of our world, amidst the cacophony of gunshots and the stench of stale blood, love bloomed between them, a love as fierce as it was forbidden. They say love is blind, but in their case, it was love that opened our eyes to a world beyond the concrete and steel. A world where emotions weren't a weakness, but a strength. Their love story wasn't some fairy tale romance. It was raw, real, and unapologetic. It was a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit, a beacon of hope in a sea of despair. Their love was their shield, their solace, their reason to keep going in a world that offered little respite. But our world is a cruel one, unforgiving and relentless. It tests you at every turn, pushing you to the edge, making you choose between your loved ones and your loyalty. And so it was for Marco and Maria. When the news broke that there was a mole in our midst, a traitor ready to spill our secrets to the cops, our world crumbled. Suspicions grew, accusations flew, and trust evaporated. In that climate of fear and paranoia, Marco found himself cornered, his back against the wall, his enemies closing in. He knew the end was coming. There would be a shootout, a violent ballet of bullets and betrayal. And he knew he wouldn't survive. In the face of death, all rational thoughts flee, leaving only primal instincts and raw emotions. But Marco wasn't afraid. Not because he was a heartless gangster, far from it. His heart was pounding against his ribs, threatening to burst out in a torrent of blood and fear. No, he wasn't afraid because he wasn't alone. Not really. He had Maria. As the first shot rang out, he felt a surge of adrenaline, the ancient fight-or-flight response coursing through his veins. But he didn't run. He stood his ground, returned fire, each bullet a defiant roar against the encroaching darkness. For every shot that missed, his resolve strengthened. For every bullet that found its mark, his determination to protect Maria intensified. But he knew he wouldn't win this battle. The odds were stacked against him. He was outnumbered, outgunned, yet he fought on, fueled by the love that bound him to Maria. Because in that moment, it wasn't about him anymore. It was about her. It was about protecting the woman who had dared to love him, who had chosen him despite the demons that haunted him. And then, amidst the chaos, as the gunplay reached its crescendo, he saw his chance. Through the haze of gunpowder and the deafening roar of gunfire, he saw Maria, her face ashen, her eyes wide with terror. In that split second, as the world tilted on its axis, he knew what he had to do. He lunged towards her, shielding her with his body, taking the impact of the fatal shot that would have otherwise ripped through her. He held her close, whispering words of love and reassurance, knowing that in a few short moments, he'd be nothing but a fading memory. A ghost haunting the corridors of her heart. As the life ebbed out of him, as the darkness closed in, he saw understanding dawn in Maria's eyes. She didn't cry out in pain or scream in terror. She simply looked at him, her gaze unwavering, her love for him echoing in her silent tears. That was the last time he saw her, the last image imprinted on his soul, the last memory he'd cherish, the last kiss before the shootout. A kiss that spoke volumes of a love that defied definition, a love that even death couldn't diminish. If you like the story, keep like, subscribe, and share the channel.